for another update. And today's topic is, let's see, what did I choose as today's topic? Oh yeah, the way others treat you is the way you treat your inner child. Now, you might wonder why I would come up with such a topic. Well, most of my topics are based on things that are happening in my life or in the lives of other people. And today's topic is one that it not only is happening in my life, but it's happening in the lives of some of my clients. And it seems whenever something happens more than at least 3 times, it's a message to me. So if I think that you can benefit in some way from that experience, I'll pass it on to you. So this is a message that's coming up. It's the way that we treat the way others treat us is how we treat our inner child. So to understand that, because that is a pretty, I guess you could say, evolved way of looking at things, you have to understand the higher perspective and the universal laws, or what we call the laws of Creator God that apply. And the reason I say Creator God is because all of us are creator gods. Now, we don't remember that because that was part of the deal. When we came to Earth School, we would forget that we are souls who are also creator gods. But, so we're going to go back to thinking like a creator god for a moment. Some of the things that we remembered as creator gods and the laws by which we created, okay, our realities and our potential future lives in this, on the Earth plane, was that, number 1, everything has a value, and number 2, we are here for growth, and because and what we want to grow from is, or the way that the growth takes form is that we want to be able to see the dysfunctional beliefs that we have picked up along the way as creator gods and goddesses and shift those to very functional and integrated beliefs. So because we knew that when we got into a physical form, we couldn't turn our eyes inward to see our beliefs, we asked other souls to enter into contracts with us to play out these beliefs through their behaviors. So, and then of course we would make contracts and set it up on our life blueprint, which is our roadmap through life, to be able to see, to meet them at specific times, to interact so that we could play out the drama that we had all scripted to learn that lesson. Of course, they're going to learn one end of the lesson, we're going to learn the other one, because people don't enter into the contracts with us unless they want to learn that lesson as well and change whatever. They have the same core belief. So when we have people who lie to us, who cheat, who steal from us, it's always an indication of where we are doing that to ourselves. And what in particular I mean is the inner child. Our inner child is the, you could call it the soul's library come to life. Like the soul will imprint its records of every experience it's ever had throughout its existence into the physical form and the cellular level. And that library has its own consciousness, which we call the inner child. That's my understanding from what the guides have told me. So the child can only think in the moment, and everything that happens, it bases its reaction to those events on past experience. So go back to the library and go, okay, well, this happened before, did it turn out well? If it didn't, then the child's going to react in a negative way. Also, the child believes everything that it hears. So if you're thinking, I'm stupid, the child feels it's stupid. If you hear, if it hears anything that causes it to react in fear, you will feel that as a physical response. And but going back to the topic of how others treat you, and specifically in the idea, in the situation of whether they're lying to you or cheating or stealing, whenever that happens, it's because you're lying or cheating or stealing from your inner child. Now you go, well, what can I steal from my inner child? Well, you can steal energy from your inner child. You have so much life force every day, and that you bring in based on all your fears. The guides used to call it the energy account. Everybody has energy accounts, and based on your patterns and the amount of fear that you carry, you allow in so much life force every day, say $300 worth. So at the beginning of every day, there's immediately a withdrawal to support all things that you fear. And then what's left over is what you have to run on. Well, for a lot of people, they don't have virtually anything to run on and left over, because they're constantly running around doing for others, or believe they have to be a certain way or do a certain thing. And so they end up at the end of the day in the red, and they're energetically bankrupt. So when you then take the reserves that the child has tried to squirrel away to keep the body going, when you take those reserves, that's considered theft from the perspective of the inner child, because that is what is needed to keep your body alive. And when you do that for too long, then you end up with disease. You end up with chronic illnesses, chronic pain in your body that you can't get rid of. Lower back, neck, shoulders, whatever. It's chronic because you just have a tremendous deficiency of energy in that area, because you're giving that energy away to somebody else. So that's how we steal from our inner child. We lie to our inner child by saying, oh yeah, I'm going to take a break now, or yeah, I'm going to take some time off to play, and then you end up working. And that's a big one for me, because I'm a recovering workaholic. So the other one is that when others cheat us, it's because we're cheating ourselves. Once again, it's kind of like a form of stealing. We are cheating our inner child out of the time that she needs or he needs with us, and or the energy that he or she needs to keep the body going. So like I said, anytime someone mistreats you, anytime they are abusive towards you, look within and ask yourself, am I doing that to myself? If someone abuses you with abusive talk, degrading things, ask yourself, am I doing that to myself? Because from the bigger perspective of us all as souls down here to grow, you only draw a handful of people in your life out of 6 billion people. And all those people that come into your life are there on cue to reflect back to you what you're doing to yourself, because ultimately what you're trying to see is the relationship that you have with your inner child, which we call yourself, relationship with yourself, and you're mirroring that, or you're experiencing that in all your interactions with other people, because you can only relate to other people based on what you know. So if you just look at it from that perspective, and every time something negative happens to you, people mistreat you, look at it like, okay, what am I doing? How am I doing this to myself? What you'll see is that two things. Number one, you'll release the other person from blame, which will help to heal that situation and clear it up and eliminate the conflict. And two, you will gain added insight into what you're doing to yourself. And if you can see that and make changes, then you're gaining the growth that you want. So everybody wins. And when you win, life becomes a little bit easier. You start, when you clear away a lot of the conflicts in your life, life becomes a lot more pleasant. And this is what we're down here doing. This is why we came. This is why we signed up at this time, for the best opportunity to get the greatest amount of growth. So you'll find more about the relationship with the inner child in the Divine Partnership, the third key of compassion. I would have one here, but I sold out of a bunch of them right now. But anyway, I'll get some more made. But anyway, take that in perspective today and ask yourself, if you're having difficulties in your life with other people, you feel like you're being mistreated, turn it inward and say, okay, where am I doing this with my inner child? And I think you'll find some amazing answers. So take care, have a great week, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.